Yeah, what's up? I hope this works. I'm trying something new out. Um, that's pretty often that I try something new out, but because I'm trying something new out, I always just have to go with the flow of the energy that was here before me. Um, Speaking on that, I mean, I had a particular topic that I definitely wanted to discuss, but I'm also a person that's of the present moment, so, and I feel like it all plays in together. I think me even getting to this area is just such an ancient and very valuable moment, because I came here in a particular time in my life where I guess it was the basic formatting of it, and it's been a while because the hurricane season, which was over a year and a half, that hit us. It kind of shut down this particular park over here in Opalaka that I came here. And, last time I came here, though, I remember coming to this area but never really resonating with it. It's, really far down the path. I call this place Iguana Island because, you have to pass through so many iguanas that want you to know that you're, in their territory, and it's just lake. And then it's here. But I felt like this was just the perfect area to come and express. Life is just interesting. One of the topics I really wanted to talk about was the crash after pleasure or joy or happiness or whatever type of energy you want to associate that energy with. And the thing that made me different between a lot of different people out here seeking knowledge regardless of my physical, if you want to take that particular, that's something that makes me different. But if you want to talk about what I'm giving the message, it's a lot of people on a conscious wave right now, and it's a lot of black females also becoming empowered. But the difference between me is that I don't necessarily, I know how to detach myself from everything that I'm around and still bring it to something that equals to one. Meaning that I don't judge, I have nothing that I'm trying to prove, I'm just literally coming here and spilling my mind and evoluting on camera. So this is something that I can do consistently because this is something that I am as a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That even with the shift, it still connects to one. So the crash after pleasure. Thank you. It's really a perception thing. I've been talking about perception a lot. But it's funny because a lot of the times you don't even have an accurate visualization of your own perception, and then you're displaying yourself as such, and then that crash that comes after is reality or other people's perceptions. And the reality is, for the most part, not in a good state. I don't judge, though. I chose to come back. So I give thanks every day, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to evolve in this realm and not be of this realm. No shade, I am of this realm if I'm in a human body, but that's a whole nother conversation. I recently went to Bahamas, and that was a big thing for me, honestly. I experienced that with enough support, but it was enough freedom to really take a look at life. Culture, because over there is a different lifestyle, is a way of living, even down to their cars. They get a lot of cars from the Japanese, who actually sells the majority of cars if you're outside of the U.S. So their car is on the opposite side, and just seeing how you had to stay to the left, and then that construct is something I had to really grow and learn. And then I hope this is working. This is just interesting, this is a mic, this is a new age thing, but I just really wanted to connect with the fact that, the way people's perspectives are of me, especially the people that I would assume would know me, it's just interesting, and it makes you realize, wow, not to say I'm better than, but that because you're doing something that's different, people are going to look at you above, like you have something that they don't have, I'm always a family-oriented person, but overall, I'm a person that likes to remain in myself. I'm really much in my head, even when I'm around other people. I'm bringing it all together into a big movie for me. So that crash is just interesting when I see how other people are affected, especially if it's not something that I would assume in my movie, which 9 times out of 10, my movie is just so unpredictable. So it hurts. It's depressing, and a lot of times that's where a lot of successful people stop. When they get that not so good reaction or not so on the same wavelength as them. I mean, obviously you have to make sure you adjust your circle so that people are evoluting on your same level and everyone could be of joy. But for the most part, I told you, this world is not of that energy, but I'm not judging. So when you're dealing with that, a lot of times you may feel like it's something wrong with you, you know, and you're sitting there analyzing what you could have done or if it's another way that you could have explained yourself, and at the end of the day, it's just that they don't understand the processes. And, you know, and it's so easy for us to express the good because that's something that's alluring, but then even that is very falsified, and it makes me feel like, you know, overall, I don't think I'm trying to appease to anyone of this era, but it is just to express myself. At the end of the day, it's nothing that I necessarily want to gain. I sat and I had a good conversation with a guy. His name was Mr. Peterson. And he was just interested in me because he was a veteran, and I don't think he expected, because I was out there helping to groom. It's probably a iguana over there, but I was helping to groom the area, like a little farming that they're having in Overtown. Shouts out to them. And I just didn't know how to take the energy, because for one, I was very knowledgeable about what he was talking about, and I don't think that he expected that. But I don't think that he took it as a negative thing. Like, he was a fellow brother. He was raised in Overtown, so he's seen the progression. And I don't think he necessarily connected to my perspective of it, and because of that, like, it just shows me just how the ways of living, for one, are changing, and for two, like, there's always going to be a different way that people want to live. You know what I'm saying? And when you're realizing that and you're trying to formulate what is for you, that means you're not doing what everybody else would probably do. It's always going to come with something that's going to come as a contradiction, but overall, people start to see you, and this is one thing that I had to recognize as I was walking down Iguana Island, is that people are going to see you how iguanas look at us, like the gods, because that's what you're doing. You recognizing who you are. Don't let that crash stop you. You know, that's just a moment of realization to realize, damn, I done made it to another level, because that's how I'm looking at it. You got to shed the old skin. You know, that's part of the process. You know, and what that is that's helping you let go of those people that's not resonating with your energy, straight up, regardless of who it is. You have to keep on pushing you, and you have to be confident in that. That's 5D living, and it's about time. We already here. So don't wait until, you know, life forces you to do what's already here. You know what I'm saying? You have to get with the program, and that's what I'm pushing. I ain't trying to necessarily tell anybody how to live their life, but I'm telling you the construct of what this world is in. And, you know, the crash behind pleasure is just a law of the land. So you shouldn't let that slow you down or push you, you know what I'm saying, to a direction that is not of your truest path. You got to do what's necessary in that moment, but always keep your goal 100. So, yeah, that's the crash after pleasure. Cycles. Yeah, what's up? I hope this works.